My descent into the madness of ultra-running began with a Thanksgiving conversation. The dishes had long been cleared, we had watched some TV, and I had returned to the kitchen when my 18-year-old daughter, Ronnie, asked that question every father dreads. How would you feel about running a marathon with me? My heart jumped, my pulse raced. A bite of leftover stuffing fell from my fork. As a veteran journalist who has been to war zones, riots, and natural disasters, who has covered serial killers, slipped away from knife-wielding lunatics, and ducked beneath gunfire, I never imagined I would face the most frightening moment of my life in this fashion, and yet there I was, staring into her big blue eyes, wondering how I could escape. I'd been a marathoner back in my 20s, but now I was knocking, I'll make that pounding, on the door of 51. My knees made strange sounds when I climbed out of bed. You could play Foggy Mountain Breakdown on the muscles of my lower back. I had the flexibility of a stepladder, and my weakness for cinnamon rolls had convinced me that covering any sizable number of miles would forevermore involve a combustion engine or a plane ticket. I squeezed into a sweatshirt and jogged down the road now and then, and I looked fit, but I could feel the toll of too many years of business travel, late nights of work, and bad mealtime choices. "More fried shrimp, sir?" "Absolutely, and can I get some extra tartar sauce?" I remembered two things about marathoning. Training took a lot of time, and I never trained enough. Consequently, my races were exercises in absurdity. I'd start out fast, fall apart in the middle, and by the end be hobbling like some newly discovered Dickens character named Chuffy Dimblewit. By contrast, Ronnie was young and strong and had embraced the keys to lifelong health: good eating habits, a reasonable amount of sleep, and a work-play balance that allowed her to excel. Her muscles rippled with the power and grace that teenagers take for granted. I wasn't sure what had possessed Ronnie to propose such an idea, and I triangulated a fast end to the conversation. "You know, honey, training for such a long race can be very hard." She looked at me and said nothing. "And remember, this is your first year at college. What are you studying? Juggling?" "Aerospace engineering." "Well, that sounds like a lot of work. Physically, this would be very tough. I'd hate to see you get hurt. You know, some women wind up sterile." Nothing. I sighed the way a man might when the judge asks if he understands the charges. "Okay, when do we start?"